All right. Well, mine's going to be coming from, am I the asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Would I be the asshole if I stopped paying the utilities for my sister's apartment? So, I, 26 female, and currently a stay-at-home mom, but my husband, 27 male, makes a comfortable salary that we can still afford to take care of our baby, as well as help out my family without it being too much trouble on the finances. My younger sister, 19 female, we'll call her Cece, is going to college in another state for uni and is currently a sophomore. She got accepted into a university with a really good art program, but couldn't afford to dorm and pay for her school's tuition with her loan and savings. So my husband and I bought her a decent apartment, paid for full in cash, in a good area so that she can commute to school. It's technically under our name, but we let her treat it as it's her own, so she can feel independent. We pay for everything, including the utilities, even down to the Wi-Fi. So she lives there rent-free and is able to save her money that she makes from working part-time and focus on school.
Wow.
But the other day, I found out that she's not even living in the apartment and is instead living with her boyfriend. She apparently has been for the last school year and just didn't tell anyone. And she's also renting out the apartment to one of her friends.
Oh.
And we have basically been paying for a stranger to live there. I only found this out after a package I ordered for her got returned to me. It was a wellness package with some snacks and stuff. Usually I Amazon things over, but I actually packed this one myself, so I sent it with UPS, and then it got returned. Cece's justification for this was that she, quote, needs the money for her graduation trip that she's saving up for, which is literally in years, so I don't know why it's such a big deal yet. But my husband and I don't want to be paying for her friend to live there while she lives for free with her boyfriend anyways. I don't want to kick Cece's friend out of the apartment since she's an innocent party in this and leave her stranded, but maybe if I take her on as a renter, we can work this out separately. Would I be the asshole if I cut Cece off financially?
No. No. What is she doing? She's taking advantage and making a profit off of you.
Right?
Like, what?
Like, there's always like, okay, like, I'm going to spoil my kid because I can. But now this is like aunt and uncle position. And there's always like, well, I'm going to help out my family because I can. And then this is like the worst case scenario that the person that you're helping me out happens to actually be like the entitled, spoiled type.
Yeah.
And not the appreciative.
Exactly.
Like, I understand I have privilege and whatnot. But no, I'm going to go live with my boyfriend and then I'm going to go rent out the apartment for money that I'd never even paid for. And I'm not even going to like ask my aunt and uncle or anything.
And I'm going to make a profit. Oh my God. Like, that's actually so entitled.
Right?
That's insane. That's so selfish. Like,
imagine baby Andrew and we're like, things are going well and we want to help out.
Yeah.
We buy him a whole apartment near his university. And then we come to find out that he's like, yeah, I don't live there. I just rent it to one of my bros.
no, I would be livid.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, bro, I could have put my money somewhere else. I didn't put my money into this apartment for some random person that I have no affiliation with. I don't know them at all.
Sorry, what was the question? Am I the asshole for making her pay utilities?
That's how they the title is, would I be the asshole if I stopped paying the utilities for my sister's apartment?
I think they're just saying utilities as everything, maybe.
I guess.
Yes.
I think the title should be, would I be the asshole if I stopped paying for my sister's nephew's apartment?
Yeah.
Or no, sister. Oh, sorry. It's not nephew. It's sister. Younger sister. So.
Okay.
That would be like, there's a decent age gap between.
So like
you
for my
and
sister.
Your sister. Yeah. No, for some reason I had niece in my head. But no, it's sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Still. Insane.
That. No, yeah, you should definitely. I don't know how she didn't see this coming. And Luna's leaving.
How long was that, guys? I don't even think that was 5 minutes.
Okay, one, was she trying to hide it from you guys?
Well, she didn't tell her, so I think so.
So, okay, so she knew she was doing something wrong then.
Right?
Or was she just, like, did maybe just not come up and she was like, oh, this is fine. I feel like there's a difference.
Right?
But still, regardless, you have every right to cut her off.
Yeah. I don't know.
She's done. You're done.
Okay, so we got an edit. Just to clarify, I feel like doing so might make me the asshole because she's my little sister.
No.
And without my help, she wouldn't have a safety net to fall back on, especially if her and her boyfriend broke up. Okay, I mean, that's kind of fair. But,
okay, cross that bridge when you get there, though.
But I at this point would be like, you abused your privilege, and now you've lost it. Now you can, like, if you're going to live, like, if you were living with your boyfriend majority of the time, and the apartment's there, and it's empty, I wouldn't have any issues.
I was going to say that as well.
Like, that's your apartment to stay there whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
And if you're deciding to spend most nights of the week at your boyfriend's house, whatever, 5 to 7, whatever it is, and then you come back to your apartment whenever you want, all right, that's one thing.
But also, why wouldn't you just spend it at your apartment? Like, why wouldn't he come?
Right?
Because it's free.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure he's not getting his living expenses for free, like, covered.
I don't know. So one person in the comments said we shouldn't make assumptions on these stories, but I feel like that's literally our job. So my assumptions would be like, either he's not really that good of a boyfriend and he's like, oh, well, you got to come to me kind of guy. Yeah. That's my assumption.
Maybe.
But, you know, I've been told I shouldn't make assumptions, but, you know, I like to make stories up in my head because it's fun. Well, whatever. But then if the apartment was empty, I would be like, yeah, that's your safety net. Like, if you don't want to sleep there every night, you don't have to sleep there every night. You want to sleep over a girl's night, you want to sleep over a boyfriend's night.
I think that's fine.
Do what you want to do.
It's your life.
But the fact that you're renting it out to make a profit off of something that you don't own. No, that's not.
That's when you're done.
That's not okay. That's where you're done. And I'm like, okay, well, like, your apartment privilege is now over. Mm-hmm. 100%. I hope everything works out with your boyfriend.
Yes.
Because you apparently you are eliminating your own fallback plan. What happens, even in the current situation, she's renting it out to her friend. What happens if she breaks up with her boyfriend?
Yeah, exactly.
She's gonna come back to the friend and be like, "Oh, you gotta get it out."
Would.
She's already eliminated her fallback.
I mean, she probably would say that to her friend. She seems entitled enough to
Very
do so.
entitled, yeah. So I got an update for you.
Okay.
So Wednesday morning of this week, I did what a lot of the commenters have advised me on. My husband and I drove over to the apartment without giving Cece a heads up. I decided against leaving a note on the door and ended up just knocking on it about 10 in the morning to talk to her friend. You guys called it. It wasn't actually her friend. It was just one of her classmates in her economics course that she'd been renting it out without a formal agreement. Let's call him Jay. Jay's a trans man, but Cece was using his previous pronouns as a half-truce, I guess, for telling us about him. Anyways, Jay has been paying Cece about half the market value of the rent in the area, $1,500 a month, as the average ones go for about $3,000.
Whoa.
He let my husband and I in to talk, and everything in the apartment was in order. All the furniture that I had bought Cece prior to her move-in was still there and in good shape. Nothing seemed broken or unkept. My husband and I talked about the situation with him, and Jay told us that he hadn't known that Cece wasn't actually the owner of the place and was just trusting her in her role as a friend. I'm letting my husband work out the details of drawing up a formal rental agreement because I'm busy dealing with Cece and trying to get her to repay us back for the rent. My mom had to get involved and ended up checking my sister's savings account, as Cece still uses accounts that my mom has set up on since she was a minor. She hasn't done this prior because she doesn't like to invade our privacy, but she finally had enough of Cece's unwillingness to be forthcoming, plus her lies about the whole situation. Based on the deposit that my mom can access from over the past couple months, Cece has been depositing the full $1,500 of Jay's rent into her account each month. In total, her savings are about $32,000, with $18,000 being from the rent.
What?
I'm not sure if she's claiming this on her taxes, but honestly, I don't even want to bother with finding out. I just want her to pay us back for the year of lies and deceit. My mom has already taken $8,000 from the savings account, since the account still has my mom's name on it, and transferred it to my husband's and I's joint account, which obviously pissed Cece off. She threatened legal action for theft, but my mother-in-law, who's a divorce attorney, put us in contact with one of her old friends who's a real estate attorney in the area, and essentially had to explain to Cece we could hit her back with over this illegal rent situation. All of this to say, Cece's going to start paying us back in exchange for us keeping further legal actions out of consideration. But we're going to have a family friend actually draw up a contract to solidify this agreement so we can get the money back. thank you guys so much for your suggestions and support. It really helped me and my husband come up with a solution for this situation. And in turn, I think this will be good for us as it shows we have supportive parents/in-laws. And finally, we'll give Cece the opportunity to actually acknowledge her wrongdoings, which is probably going to be a first.
$32,000 in savings?
I'm sorry, I thought you were saving up for a trip.
I thought she was broke. She said, oh, I need to save up. Like, I'm broke.
Yeah. Like only 18,000 from the rent. So you still had another 14,000 that was just good savings. Listen, I will be the first to admit that my money financials might be a little bit skewed because I was raised up. I never had more than $1,000 in my savings at any time. So I'm over here thinking like, oh, I already had $14,000 in my bank account and I need to save up more for a trip. Like that just seems outrageous to me.
Okay. It depends where you are in life, I feel, but $14,000
for a college student.
For a college student is insane. Like that is an insane amount of money. So like, I don't know. I saw this TikTok that was like, what is your bank account zero? Because my bank account zero is like actually $50,000. Like when I go below 50,000, I feel like I'm at zero and I need to actually start saving. And other people were like, oh, maybe like 2,000 or whatever. So it's like a different zero for people apparently.
Mine's zero.
But I know, right?
Mine is always negative 300 is my zero. When the number's red, that's my zero.
I know. So
I feel like your zero is like 5K.
Yeah, okay, so with me,
or at least when I first met you,
I've had a job since I was literally 13 years old, and most of my savings came from that period between when I was like 13 and 18, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then I went abroad and spent a lot of money on my trip to the Netherlands for 6 months. So, I would say like it's different for me because I had 5 or 6 years of like I was able to save up. And so that became my zero. Like that became money that I did not touch and I have not touched and I will not touch until I don't know, buy a house or something, right? Yeah. So I don't even consider that money like my checking. I don't know. It's different.
Right.
I feel like it's different.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like for her, she's claiming that she's broke. Right?
Yeah.
She has $32,000 in her account.
It's like, what is your zero?
Yeah. So for me, I would never be like, I'm broke. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So yeah, she's definitely taking advantage of people who are being insanely generous. Insanely generous. And I'm so happy that they're actually making her pay her back instead of just cutting her off.
Yeah. And I'm very happy that the mom is on their side.
Yeah.
Because usually what happens is like golden child syndrome can do no wrong, even in the parent's eyes. Mm-hmm. But the fact that her mom is like, what the hell is this? This isn't how I raised you. You're not the golden child. It just shows that she's got the younger sibling entitledness, but that's not because of her mom's fault. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like, where did that come from?
So I have a question. Are they still renting out the place to Jay? Was that his name?
Yeah. So they said that they're going to draft up an actual rental agreement. It didn't say it in there, but I could have swore it said it somewhere that I rented that the money is going to be deposited right into their account. From Jay's going to start paying them directly.
That would make sense, right?
Maybe they edited this since the first time I read it. But yeah, that they renting up a formal drafting agreement and then Jake is going to make the deposits into their bank account.
Yeah, I think.
Or Jay.
That would make sense.
You know what would be ultimate karma would eventually if she breaks up with her boyfriend, stops living with him, and she's like, now I have no apartment to go to.
Yeah.
And she can ask to sleep on Jay's couch and Jay's going to be like, no, I pay this rent directly from your sister because you lied to me. No, you're not allowed to stay here. And then she just ruined up her backup plan. Because like I said, like if she's sleeping at her boyfriend and the apartment's staying empty, I don't really have any issue with that.
Yeah.
The fact that you rented it out as if you owned it and took the money yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's where you fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, not acceptable.
Yeah.
All right. On to you.
Yeah.